Okay, good afternoon. This is Debbie Davis. It is August 3rd, and I am. I just had a test done of the local water here in Golden Valley, Minnesota, and because we saw them in the manhole the other day, and I don't know what they were doing in there but we've had this manhole lid open for like a year. And so one of my neighbors finally went over there, finally called him, I guess, and said, what, can you actually close this lid, let it like it's supposed to be closed? Because it's been open, it's a trip hazard. It's just been like wide open for like a year, for like the whole time I've been here. And anyway, so I just had a water test done and had and what came up, what was kind of weird and not normal is the pH here. It came up, I took the tap water over to a pool place, and the pH came up 8.6. Okay, the pH of tap water is normally supposed to be about like 7.2 from the municipal plants. So that came up odd, and so I don't know what's going on there, but I don't trust these city people, because we had a very serious incident a couple of years ago where we had an ice storm and they didn't put any salt or sand down, and there was hundreds of accidents throughout the Minneapolis area. It was Christmas 2 years ago, and they didn't have any explanation at all as to why they didn't put the salt or sand down. It's the same city people that run the water, okay, and they were extremely unprofessional. They didn't give me any reason why they didn't put the salt or sand down, and I got in an accident that Christmas, and it caused me a lot of problems. I had just a ton of problems with the USAA. They still haven't handled it correctly. I mean, it's just been a nightmare for me. It's been a nightmare because they tried to pay me some for it, but they didn't. But they said the car was totaled. It wasn't totaled, and then I had to fight, get a different estimate. I mean, just like, and they still haven't handled it properly, USAA. So, this has been a nightmare for me that they caused. They didn't put the salt or sand down, so somebody came flying into me a couple of years ago. Okay, anyway, but I have my friend Pete on the phone today, and I just want to introduce him. He's another targeted person. He was in the Navy for 4 years. Yeah, are you there, Pete?
Yeah.
Okay, so just wanted to him and I have, when we've gotten together just to chat or whatever, we have these helicopters flying over our heads, these black helicopters. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, black. So we take pictures and videos of these helicopters. I think they're FBI. Did you say you saw a state police one yesterday?
Well, I've seen the other day there was a whole bunch of Army helicopters, and there were some Air Force planes, and a lot of unusual activity. We just had this big thing with Delta crashing, the other day through Microsoft software, and they were routing these Delta planes hundreds of miles out of the way, and I was wondering what's going on with that. So there was all kinds of anomalies.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. I already told this story that's what happened with me on a Delta flight. It was routed. I was trying to fly back to Minneapolis and over the 4th of July, because I used to come, and I have a trailer park here with my family, and we used to go up there over the 4th of July. And I was flying back from Phoenix to Minneapolis, and it routed me way down to Dallas. And then we had a very serious, instead of why would it go down to Dallas then back up to Minneapolis, And so it was a really weird routing. And I had a very serious issue with the plane from Dallas. I got on the plane, and the plane started shaking violently, and we had to return back to the runway.
Yeah,
and fire trucks were running up to us. So I wouldn't trust Delta. I wouldn't trust Delta Airlines.
Well, I think they were a good airline, but it's like something funny is going on with them because they just had this made. Well, all these airlines are crap, but Delta was the worst, and it had to do with Microsoft. I mean Microsoft software, and I could go on and on about Microsoft, and that's another story. I've got a million things. I put up videos, and I go by the name Jim Howe. And she just watched my video where I'm showing some of the planes that because I got this new radar thing that where you can get real time information on the planes over your head and all over the world, which is kind of handy. So I started tracking some of these planes to find out what they are. And that was very interesting. There were some strange planes that it said NA, so I don't know what they are.
Some strange plane. It's not available, like NA, like not. It's not.
Not available or something. Yeah, and
oh, weird.
And a lot of them are flying too low. They're supposed to be 1,000 feet above the terrain, especially in residential areas. Why are all these planes, military planes, flying over residential areas? And I don't know if you want to say what you've been in contact with some people in the military.
Well, I have. Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on, but we're in a state of it. I know there's been. It's considered a state of emergency with some of the things going on with the water here, and also the mail. Everybody's having weird issues with their mail. Not getting their mail, and that's a federal emergency. People need to get their medications, their checks, and so I know that there's some things that are considered of a state of emergency. And I, as a whistleblower, I've been, I'm under extreme danger all the time. I mean, you've seen it. He's seen how much danger I've been in and how much the cops harass me. You've seen it,
Well, yeah, and both of us have, and I wondering about these planes. A lot of times they're flying by, I start feeling like fatigue spells and stuff, and I feel like they may be using some kind of energy weapons on me. And I've tried.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, these planes don't seem to have any. We don't know why they keep flying over our head. We don't know what they're doing, but there might be certain, military operations going on that we don't know about, but some of them are not on the good side. We know that for sure because it's been happening to him for like 10 years or more.
15 years.
15 years, yeah.
A lot of it was our stuff. Some of the stuff I don't even know if it's of this world.
Yeah. And Alice has it happen in Houston, and she looked it up, and it was an FBI helicopter. So it might be FBI, state police. Well, the state police, the senators here are super corrupt, and probably, and the state police work with them, and so they're probably not up to no good with the state police helicopters.
Yeah, there's been big police helicopters patrolling around the area too. That could be legitimate, but maybe because they do monitor the highways and stuff. And sometimes they're looking for bad guys or something, or watching neighborhoods.
Well, I mean, if you consider me a bad guy as a whistleblower, then I wouldn't trust anything they're doing because they've harassed me to death, and I'm not and I'm a whistleblower, not a legitimate military whistleblower, not a bad person. So I don't think they're doing anything legitimate. Any of the state patrols.
Laws, but I put up a lot of videos exposing a lot of things that I've had death threats, and I've had a lot of weird things happen to me. My computer screwed up this morning. I made a comment that I didn't like.
I've had the same thing happen. Him and I have both, like, sometimes our videos won't upload. And he's had the same thing, and they've crashed his computer. It's the CIA, you think? I think it's the CIA. I believe it's the CIA.
I haven't been able to figure out if it's NSA, CIA, or some other terrorist group. There's a terrorist kind of group called the JIDF that I know have been hounding me in the past. is one of the most forbidden things is to mention that there's any kind of a kosher entanglement with any of this stuff. That's really forbidden. And I mentioned those facts. I mentioned that, you know, the Masons, and that's forbidden. And Satanism is involved in a lot of this stuff. That's forbidden information.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, so you talk about stuff, but, I mean, you know, I didn't you know, you didn't get involved in this, like on purpose. You just started getting harassed, and you were, right?
Videos.
Where you were putting up videos, and what started this for you? The harassment.
Well, I started putting up videos is when things started happening. Like,
what videos? What videos?
Videos exposing all these things, the New World Order.
Well,
I started out with 9/11. I started out exposing 9/11.
Okay, and then so you're trying to just tell the truth on the internet. So basically, anybody that tries to expose, you just tried to expose some things, and then you started getting these helicopters over you and different things over the years. Yeah. Well, my story, I wasn't trying to expose anything. I didn't do anything illegal. I was a legitimate accidental witness to a crime at a military base. And it could happen to anybody. I was just a witness, and I tried to do the right thing that I thought was the right thing. And I've been almost murdered, you know, as a you know, just for trying to report my own government, crimes within my own government. I've tried to contact every single whistleblower organization. Don't bother trying to, they're all they're taken over by the CIA, so they'll take your information that you try to provide to them thinking they're going to help you, and they'll just send the information off to the CIA. Not a single one of them is legitimate in our country. They're all fake whistleblower organizations. So just anybody that thinks they're going to get help from a whistleblower organization, don't bother. They're psyops. They'll like use your information, and then they'll use it to target you.
Well, me and Debbie have been trying to start our own little thing, and it seems like they don't like that because both of us have had increased in tax. We've just been. We met at the Minnesota MUFON group, which we've both attended since like 2013. It's the Minnesota UFO Network, and that's where Pete and I met. And you know, sometimes they have interesting meetings, and sometimes, you know, they're not as good, but that's where we met, and so, you know, and that's, you know, some of the stuff that our government has kept from us, you know, every once in a while you'll get a whistleblower that gets to speak at MUFON or something that, you know, has been involved in some kind of the UFO secrecy, and so I started going to some of the meetings, and that's where I met Pete. And there's strange things going on with that too, because there's been people that have died mysteriously.
Yeah, there's strange things going on with that within that network too. But
there's people I met there that I thought might very well have been like agents of some type. Yeah. And so now, we've had weird things happen with that community as well. That's another forbidden topic is aliens. You can't mention.
Yeah. So, but Linda Moulton Howe has recently put out a video where she is she has been in contact with people over the years that have been in contact with these tall whites that our government has never told us about, and they are the Syrians that are helping us, that are from I mean, I can include the link to the video of her, but she's been she put out this last video that she put out had all kinds of information that was being revealed, you know, like declassified finally, about these tall white Syrians that are helping us. What happens is, so there are the reptilians, but the reptilians are not from a different planet. They're from our planet. they're the serpent people that have been around.
thousands
They've
of
been here for
years.
thousands of years. They're in the bloodline of Cain. They're in the bloodline of Cain. They apparently they
You see certain orders of the dragon, like
orders of the dragon. Yeah. Okay, so Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, and I guess what what the church and what has been suppressed from us for a long time is that apparently Satan represented himself to Eve in the garden as like a reptilian person, like they say serpent, but he was more like a reptilian looking person, and apparently they had a child, Eve and the serpent, and the serpent. He presented himself as a reptilian, and that was Cain. And then Adam and Eve had Abel. Well, Cain was evil, and Cain killed Abel. He was an evil seed, and that's where the whole bloodline of the reptilian comes from. And they've been known as the serpent people, the scale people, or for centuries they've been around, and they are from our planet. Okay, and they are evil. Okay, and so this is where the two bloodlines come from. Like the Illuminati bloodline come from the bloodline of Cain. Okay, and then what you have is these good races that are trying to help us, that are from like Venus and everything, and the Syrians, the tall white ones, are especially, and they're way older than us, as far as all their technology and everything, spiritually and everything. And so they have been, there are good aliens, and then the Greys are some of the bad ones too, is what she says. So it's the Greys and the reptilians that are the bad ones, and then there's other good ones that are watching out for us, that are trying to help us. And so this has been suppressed by our government for a long time, that and that there is but don't mistake the reptilians for being from other planets, because they're from here. They're from the bloodline of Cain. And the church has been suppressing this information for a long time, right?
Well, I've been studying the alien angle for a long time. There's no question there's something going on. The most accurate information, there's so much disinformation, it's hard to get to the bottom of it. But the most accurate information that seems to ring true better than anything are ex-KGB files that I came across. And they say there's like 178 known races that have been here. Some of them are neutral, some of them are good, but there's two negative ones. The reptilians that have been here messing and controlling and manipulating society for thousands of years. The whole thing with Akhenaten, he was murdered, and all that's another thing. But there's another newcomer that's been here called the Maitri. Now these are the evil Greys. Now apparently there's some good Greys too, but they're the ones that are doing the abductions and the cattle mutilations. These are these Maitri, and they pretend to be good. It's what Truman and Eisenhower made a pact with them. That's where you get this shadow government.
Shadow government, yeah. Yeah, what happened is what
National Security Act is what allowed all this shadow government to take over and allow these intelligence agencies to be gods unto themselves. And it started with this evil treaty that Truman and Eisenhower.
So this was what year? This was after the Roswell thing.
47.
47.
The National Security Act was put in place, but they've been doing things ever since.
Yeah.
There's like 38 levels above top secret. The president is only privy to level 17. So this is where all this evil crap comes from. And these aliens, these Maitri, they claim to be our friends, and so do the reptilians, but they're not. They're evil. Yeah. They want to basically use us and enslave us. The Maitri,
they want to just enslave humanity. The reptilians is what is causing, is what's behind this whole new world order. Yeah, they're total sadistics. Yeah, and so but I think what happened is Eisenhower. So when the Roswell crash happened, um, which I think was some kind of accident. You know, it wasn't supposed to.
They might have shot it down, but
I'm not sure, but you know, it did happen, and then that's when we became aware of the alien, the Greys or whatever, and then what happened is that Eisenhower, they were super advanced technologically, so Eisenhower. They talked Eisenhower into making a treaty with them, and that, you know, we will teach you technology if you in turn let us abduct, or they said, I guess the treaty says, you know, to do experiments on your people. But you know, they didn't, you know, they're not. These are an evil race, so they've done way more than just experiment. They've abducted and murdered people, and you know, and never returned them. But I think the original treaty, you know, he thought, well, okay, you know, you're just gonna experiment, like, you know, like, but you're not gonna hurt anybody. You know, I don't think he knew that they were gonna be so malevolent or, you know, evil. You know, so in the beginning, I don't think Eisenhower knew. He thought, wow, you know, we could learn a lot from this race, and he was probably curious himself. But they ended up being so malevolent, you know, evil, and have done way more than just experiment. They've been abducting and, you know, doing all kinds of stuff they aren't supposed to do. So, but that's when it started. And so, you know, and it's been this big cover up. We've gone to MUFON and heard a lot of these speakers talk about various different things, aspects of this. So,
yeah, some of it I think is watered down disinformation, but some of it's true.
Yeah. But okay, so anyway, is there anything else you want to share?
Me?
Yeah, about your story.
You
or
had 6 or 7 hours.
Well, yeah, well, I know you got.
My videos, it's called
Yeah.
Jim Howe. I'm on BitChute and Rumble.
Jim Howe. Yeah, he goes by Jim Howe, and he's recording these helicopters and some of the. He's got a lot more research that he's done.
Stuff.
Yeah, Jim Howe. Okay, so you.
I used to be on YouTube. I don't put anything up on YouTube because anything I put up on YouTube just gets censored.
Mhm.
I mean, and BitChute I can get away with the most stuff. Rumble I can get away with a lot more than, but not as much as BitChute.
Mhm.
And YouTube is just, if you go too more outside of the norm, they'll just censor it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I refer them. You know, we'll just go to his channel, and Pete's got a lot of stuff he's uploaded and researched up there, and you know, so I just wanted to introduce you to another targeted person like myself, and we both have these helicopter things going over our heads now. We don't know what they are. We don't know what they're doing. We don't, and then he has these spells, you know, where maybe they're hitting him with a frequency. You got these. Then after that happens, he gets these like fatigue spells, and so, you know, it's not anything good, and it's just, you know, we have a shadow government, you know, and I think it's becoming pretty obvious to everybody now that we have a shadow government, you know. So
yeah,
okay.
Let's start experimenting with Faraday cages to see if that helps.
Yeah. There's there's things that you can try to do, like you can put tinfoil up on the windows, or there's material that you can buy to
right off Amazon. You can get
that are
material, and you can make clothes
like if you're having, you know, to affect the EMF that's hitting all of us, you know, there's different things like that some people are trying, because we're getting bombarded really bad because of these 5G towers. So okay, anyway. All right. Well, I just wanted to. I don't really have. Yeah, we can do another, maybe a more professional one on StreamYard, but this was kind of just off the shoot, you know, off the cuff little video I wanted to do today to introduce you. Okay. All right. Thank you for. All right. Thanks, Pete.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Have a good day, everyone.
All right. You too. Yep. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. So, so that was my friend. You know, obviously there's a lot more targeted individuals being harassed all over our country, all over the world. And so, and you know, I don't know, there's doesn't seem to be any way of getting yourself off this list, you know, that we got illegally put on for no reason. So, you know, all we try to do is just make people aware that this is a real list, and that it's our own government that put us on this list illegally, you know, and is trying to, you know, attack their own patriots. And nobody's done anything wrong. Nobody knows how they got on this list. All they are usually are patriots. But so I was just at the unemployment office, and it's a weekly battle just to get any money out of this unemployment office. It's the most corrupt. I mean, you know, our state is completely out of control. I can't. They owe me like weeks of unemployment, and they won't pay me. You know, and they try to lie. Their automated system doesn't work. The computer part doesn't work. You know, and they, you know, they tried to intimidate me by having a sheriff there, you know, to even talk to the workforce people. I mean, it's just like they're going to such great lengths to try to harass me and not pay me. It's unbelievable. Like, I mean, how can we put up with people like this running a state? Are you kidding me? So, and I don't trust these people running our water supply here. It's the same people that were involved in not putting the salt and sand down. You know, I mean, we have to really start questioning all of these agencies and all of these people, because I mean, they're not good. Okay, thank you.